Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Amateur League. We've got in the blue color Chrilly pad playing as Kinsano, and on the other side, Lucent in the red will be going with Decimus. On the bracket, you'll see him as Dawn. We typically do ask the players to match the usernames, but didn't work out here. Right, Kinsano versus Decimus. Kinsano should be able to use a whole lot of fire to put a stop to the banished, or rather the Decimus Siphon Grunt Spam strategies. So that's supposedly not going to be on the table. The Flame Hogs are relatively good as well as shutting down airplay, as you just mix in some Wolverines and infantry and you should be fine. While the overall damage output against infantry plus air is really high for the Flame Hogs. Plus you can do a lot of economic damage in the meantime. But yeah, 3 mini bases here for Lucent. That's really the big deal out of this opener. Everything else was pretty evenly shared. Not much. I'm getting called out on that intro. Ladies, you're welcome. Well, they are, but they don't exactly show up. Have you guys seen the demographics of our YouTube channel or any gaming YouTube channel really these days? Well, RTS especially. It's like 99.9% dudes. Not even kidding. And like the remainder is probably, you know, like marketing, PR managers and whatever. Promoting games. We get a bunch of emails every now and then. It is what it is. Hey, Liam got his wife to play. That counts, right? Good job, Liam. You're Giga Chad. To be fair, I got my wife to play. She didn't want to go on stream, though. Anyway, Jackrabbits. Not necessarily the cleanest, best answer to a mini-base deal. They don't have a lot of building damage. They're not that good against grunts. But if you can bait the shrapnel round grunts out of a Decimus player, and then follow up later with a Flamehog drop, and also go into the Kinsano hero in that early tier 2 situation, you should be in a really good position. Excuse me, Lucent, you gotta do something about this, because oh, that's something. That's the something he's gotta do. Exactly. Well done. Ooh, those rabbits are getting wrecked. Choppers and a good vortex is really all you need. Double shrapnel rounds he researched, not shrapnel mines, was it? Interesting. I thought it was mines, but it was rounds, which is probably a good idea, you know, because it's good to have like a chopper or two around later in the game to just ram that Kinsano hero when she's trying to do her flame wall ability. I really do like that, actually. And they did shut down all this. Now, Chrilly did drop in the Hellbringers, which, you know, the Hell drop power, it's very low impact. It can certainly add up over time, but I just don't see it right now. Yeah, this whole push is toast, and Chrilly paid so much for it. I kind of would have preferred him to just go tier 2, honestly, and get some Marines going or something, and then drop in suddenly all of the Flame Hogs when there's anti-infantry. Yeah, that would have been probably nicer. Well, anyhow, Lucent is gonna be heading up to tier 2 now. And Chrilly is a million years away. Doesn't even have a second generator. Even after seeing that, he just, you know, he saw that second extractor. He was attacking it. But he didn't choose to respond to that by making one himself. He just made more jackrabbits, which spent most of his money for. Now he can certainly afford a second gen, but doesn't have one, which is definitely one of those common beginner mistakes. You upgrade all your supply pads and then you forget that. And then you're stuck in tier 1 for a million years. You'll be facing hunters, which just absolutely own jackrabbits. But that was a good turret drop, so he will be able to clean up at least the choppers. It's not completely without potency what he's doing. It's just... what now? Because now you're gonna fight hunters soon. Lucent didn't pre-prepare a barracks or a raid camp. That's also a very common mistake, by the way. So usually as you head up to tier 2, even if you didn't plan for making infantry in tier 1, you should swap out a harvester on at least one of our mini bases and have that raid camp ready to immediately queue up a hunter. If that hunter had been around, those choppers don't get owned as easily. But now, there's a high risk of both the extractor and the raid camp falling. It's pretty problematic. Yeah, the rabbits are working. Well, I don't know, guys. I got nothing. Looks like Lucent is going down. Apex now getting peppered. Oftentimes, depending on your angle, the projectiles actually shoot through this little gap, by the way. That's a very big fault of the Apex. But I think that's enough jackrabbits to really cause a problem. The flame hog drop should be happening momentarily as Chrilly Pad builds up to that. There is going to be an engineer to buy some time here. Maybe a Banshee will follow. Okay, Chrilly, man, you gotta get a generator. Upgrade all the pads now. We're committed to tier 1. There should be a drop at some point, and then another after. But this extra base will be very necessary to pump those leader power points up. Okay, there's the Hellbringer. But what about the... we still don't have 4th point at 8 minutes. That is very, very late. And with that one hunter, it's completely able to shut this down together with the engineer. Okay, Apex finally does go down. Jeez. Good vortex, but Flamehawk drop comes in, and that hunter isn't long for this world, not by itself. Of course, the Flamehogs will be shooting at individual engineers. You kind of need like 3 or 4 engineers to work past that. But the Rock is shooting at the same time as the Flamethrower. What's the big deal about these vehicles? Like I said, they're pretty good at shutting down airplay. Well, the drop turret as well. Now, Bandit Siphon is in for a Lucent, but his entire base is getting stripped, and Chrilly Pad is very happily going to populate that base. Whoa, 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 beam. It's not that bad, but it clips those hogs pretty good. Anyways, it's not like a Lucent has got stuff left. There's no resources here. So it's probably best to just tap out of this one. There we go. Now look at that timing. I'm pretty good at this. Hell yeah. Chrilly did okay. Could have been better, but it's good. You won the game. That's what matters. Here we go with game number 2. Chrilly Pad is gonna go with one of the more obvious picks here. Shipmaster should be able to control the map very well. You've got tons of line of sight from the grunts. The Ghost should be able to bully, but oh, one of the grunts about to go down. Good pick by that Marine. Unfortunately, the rest of them are pretty spread out. Lucent is bringing Cutter, so that should be really good for momentum plays. But you know, once Shipmaster really gets set up and controls the mini bases, it is a little bit difficult to handle him, and then you've got fear of Tears of invisibility, that could be very problematic indeed. Question in chat, what's the MMR cap for the tournament? It's actually not an MMR cap. It's about our tournament user base, and we put them into different tier categories. Maybe somebody could link it, one of the mods, if you could link it in both YouTube and Twitch chats, that would help. You guys can take a look. And basically, it's C tier and below players for amateur. There's a lot of players above them that just aren't allowed to play. Okay, getting a good scout off, but seeing nothing too interesting. Elucent going Spartan, of course, you have to. You kind of have to. After 2 generators as well, there should be no problem affording that thing. But I think it would be more appropriate to make the armory next so that you can get that generator upgrade faster. But maybe the Spartan will be made off of the unupgraded generator first. Nothing wrong with that. Oh, canceling the turret there. Here comes the Spartan. It's gonna be Ghost and Suicide Grunts. Spartan can handle that pretty well, but once there's overwhelming numbers of ghosts, that's gonna become problematic. The double raid camp is a bit much, but with the jump pack brutes, it's understandable. So we might see a little bit of aggression towards these, especially that back mini base is very easy to... Mini base? Generator is pretty easy to get rid of. While it's not upgraded, it's pretty low health. Shouldn't be much of a problem. Okay, more ghosts coming. Jump brutes. They're not gonna get their upgrades though, are they? Look, ghost shielding is really expensive, and we're seeing the money being put into the upgraded harvesters, which is good for like preparing a second generator. But these ghosts are made of paper right now, so if the Spartan does come to take him out, it won't be a difficult thing to do. But not making that turret was definitely a big mistake by Elucent. I think you have to if you go double generators. There it comes, but it's gonna be too little too late for this one. The Marines aren't gonna have grenades because, well, all the power went into the Spartan and the generator upgrade. Let's see if the Spartan jump can do something, at least get rid of the army, but I think the ghosts just happily retreat here. They've done their job. Oh. Brutes getting back in there. The turret will take care of them, no worries about that. But the ghosts can now pressure the mini base on the other side. Is this gonna be one of those games where we're going for 1 generator for a really long time for Shippy? It really looks like it. Yeah, this is like all-out aggression, but in terms of the resource load, you can tell Chrilly right now could afford another generator and still continue the production for the most part. Instead, he's making 3 turrets. I'm allergic to this stuff. You really gotta have a second gen, guys. Or pump like mad. But the triple turret, I don't know about that. That doesn't synergize with this. And now those turrets are ripping up the ghosts. I don't know. They say ain't that, Chief. Lotus mines placed. They're not gonna be visible because the ghosts can't detect. Not yet. Ah, Legend did the linking. Thank you, Legend. Alright, there's the ghost shielding. We finally have it, but the Spartan has a huge opportunity to get a jump here. Where is it? Give jump. Jump when? Yeah, there we go. Lotus mines must be on cooldown still. It happened not long ago. There's a lot of brutes as well. Spartan's not safe here. The grenades do mostly connect. Oh, there's a beam too. Okay, that's it, Spartan. Bye-bye. See ya. Wouldn't want to be. Yeah, look at that. You can drive. Oh my god. He's getting away. Oh. That's wild. Okay. Right back into the enemy though. He's toast. Generator getting remade. I'm not sure that's allowed. Chrilly is playing with his food. But the food bites back. At least a little bit. Can't be long now until spirit support with all this murdering and dying. All gives you leader points. Does Chrilly have a second generator? Nope. Second gen is not for real men, he says. He's getting bullied by the Sentinels now. That was a good move by Elucent to turn him against Chrilly Pad. How does someone become a part of the community and be able to actually compete? You go to our website, you click register. That's it. And then you click into the tournament. We always announce them. Join our Discord to get extra notifications. Once you are a player, you are put on our email list as well. I swear, I'll make a video about this. Every tournament we get asked. But it's linked in the description as well. Maybe I'll edit the description to explain it. We can do that in a break even. But it's really as simple as 1, 2, 3. Make account. Verify email. Click join tournament. That's it. Oh, you have to be in Discord. 4 steps. Ghosts, lots of ghosts. Chrilly will never go to tier 2. He hates tier 2. Elucent will never go tier 2 either. Not because he hates it, but because he's not allowed. Different problems. Can console players play? Yes. Halo Wars 2 is crossplay. We don't care what you're playing on as long as you're there. You're very welcome. All of you are. That was a good attempt there with the Diego drop, by the way. Mines could have potentially caused problems if you stun the whole thing, but where's the ODST drop in this game? What was the third point? Archer missiles, of course. That's very unconventional, actually. I understand going for Diego here, but by itself, he's gonna get wrecked. There's just one of them. Also, the brutes are actually surprisingly good anti-infantry, by the way. Oh, that's the finisher. Yeah, that's spirit support. The spirits will stick around for like a million years. And just pew pew at this generator. Engineers will heal back everything, and that's gonna be it for Elucent. He's going to the loser's bracket, not dead yet. But Chrilly Pad gets to stay in the winner's rounds. Going into the winner's quarterfinals, actually. We want to thank our website patrons. This is by far the best way to support MetaPlays. Your contribution helps keep the project sustainable and allows us to produce more and better content. If you aren't yet a patron, check out our link in the description and get in touch to collect your perks. We will see you the next time.